Hi, I'm Mo.
And I'm Wendy.
And we're having
The Sex Talk.
The Sex Talk.
The Sex Talk.
So today we are doing a New Year's Eve special. And I figured we'd talk about everybody's favorite New Year's Eve drug, MDMA.
Ooh, the MDMA.
So because MDMA's become so popular, I thought we could just have a quick chat about doing it safely and what are some things that you can do to make sure that your experience with MDMA is a positive one. Because there's a lot of studies and a lot of therapists have used it for like healing trauma.
And couples therapy.
And couples therapy.
Opening up.
Yeah, to help with opening up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And people also use it recreationally.
Right.
And that scares me a little bit sometimes because you can get some not so good shit. I guess the question is, where do you get it from, right? Reputable dealers?
Yes, and you can get a test kit.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about the test kit.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the test kit.
Well, I know that you can order them just off the online, and you basically just dab it with the tester, and it will show you a certain color.
Okay.
And if it's MDMA, there's like a little code, a color code chart.
Oh.
And so you would use it like that. I mean, I haven't done it in a while.
Okay.
But usually that's how it's done. So if there's some kind of other narcotic inside, it will show, like if there's cocaine inside or meth, it will show you that. It'll be a different color that pops up.
So it won't be pure MDMA. Like when we hear this idea that pure MDMA is what you want to take, you don't want there to be like cocaine or crystal meth or other drugs in it, because you're going to get something that's not pure, that's also going to give you a different experience.
Yeah, you should take what you think you're taking.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you should.
Yeah. In your experience, how, like when you buy it off the street, how much of the time is it pure MDMA?
Well, I would say that if I'm buying, I would go with someone that a circle of my friends know, someone with a good reputation already, and check it that way. But I wouldn't necessarily buy it off the street. I think that just through your network would be the way to go, and then testing it just to confirm it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not super familiar with how people are obtaining it to use it for therapy, but I would imagine that they're also doing some of these like tests to make sure that they're using pure stuff with their clients.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And what about safety? Can we talk about safety? Like, what are some things people can do to prepare themselves for an MDMA trip?
Well, I think that because you will become vulnerable and open during that time, you should have a talk with the person or people you're doing it with, and, you know, just be prepared if someone, you know, feels intense feelings and they need like a safe and quiet place. If it's not safe and quiet, usually what I would do is like just prepare the environment in a nice way, that with some flowers perhaps, and make a lot of pillows and blankets there, and let them know that
fluffy rugs.
I'm there for them, and you know, sometimes I make a playlist before, so I don't have to fool around with the music.
Music sounds fun.
And so I can focus on them, and they can focus on me, and we can just enjoy our time. But I do think that it's important that if someone feels like things are getting a little bit intense, you know, just maybe dim the lights, make sure you tell them that they're okay, give them lots of hugs and a lot of love. And
it's a very touchy-feely drug, right? So there's lots of
yes.
hugging going on, and so like right now, if you're during a pandemic, you're probably not going crazy with the MDMA. Hopefully, I don't know, Florida, maybe you are. But
Detroit.
Detroit.
Come on. The music.
Yeah, there's like, I think there's like, well, there's like dance parties happening in certain parts of the world tonight, New Year's Eve, not here in Portland, Oregon, but in other parts of the world, I believe. And at these dance parties, people are taking MDMA, but they're taking all sorts of party drugs.
They could be. That's something you have to be, just aware of. So I would bring something I know is safe if I'm going to do that.
What do you mean, something safe?
Something that I've tested myself.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't just go up to someone there and buy it expecting for like the greatest results, because you never know.
Right. So what about, okay, there's talk about what it does to your system afterwards, like draining the serotonin.
Mm-hmm.
So are there vitamin supplements that people can take to help the hangover aspect of it better? Or is it when it's pure MDMA, there's less hangover or something like that?
Well, I guess everybody's affected differently. I myself don't feel deprived of serotonin, but I know that if you take 5-HTP supplements, depending on your body weight.
HTTP, like on the website?
5-HTP.
Perfect, because I've heard that it's sort of like it can drain some serotonin, or it can drain like spinal fluid and things like that. You always hear that, these types of
People
things.
hear these things. I think the best is to also read about it for yourself, but what I do is 5-HTP, and that helps reproduce more serotonin, because you're depleting your serotonin when you take MDMA. So to be careful, if you are prone to depression,
or anxiety.
Or a mood disorder, I would take special care to read about it first. Don't just take a whole bunch of MDMA one night. Maybe just try a smaller dosage, or maybe it's not for you.
Right.
That's for you to decide depending on your predisposition.
Right. So I guess the bottom line, to summarize, find a reputable source.
Right.
You can get a test kit. Do you know where they can get a test kit? Online, you said?
Online. I got mine on Amazon.
Okay. So we'll put the link down below once I get more information from her what it actually is. And to get some 5-HTP, which helps with your serotonin. Make a playlist, find a safe place, find a safe group of people to do it with. Anything else?
Yes, actually we started talking about something, and I think we were onto it, but it's about when you're with someone, just making sure, because you were saying how people get touchy-feely.
Yeah.
Someone
Are we going
could
to talk
make
about consent?
more advances than you're ready for.
Consent.
Yeah, and you may not be fully aware of, your true feeling at that moment, because you're on a drug.
High.
You're high, and it might be harder for you to express yourself. So establishing that before would be a good idea. And, if you feel really, really comfortable, I think you should have like a double check. Just to make sure.
How do you have a double check?
How do you have a double check? Well, in my experience with MDMA, I wouldn't say that I'm inebriated beyond my own ability to understand where I'm comfortable. But I think it's really up to the individual. I think that if you're seeing your friend or a partner do something that they probably never would do, maybe that's a time where you step in and just try to
Guide
them to another safe space.
So what I'm hearing you say is like maybe having a conversation with your partners, friends that you're going with about what you're comfortable with, what boundaries you would like them to help you hold uphold is a good idea, because when you're under the influence of MDMA, you may make choices that you otherwise wouldn't, and so someone can sort of like help you be like a check-in person.
Exactly. You should have a check-in person. That's a good way to check in.
Yeah.
And you might also expose more of yourself than you want to, because you're feeling
Like, you mean like take your clothes off?
ecstatic. No, I mean also with like.
Well, it feels good, right, to take your clothes off, or it might feel good to like, you know, get naked, or like, you know,
Yes.
different parts of your body being touched, genitals even, which is not so cool in our society to be out in public or to touch genitals of people you don't know, but maybe that's what feels really good in the moment. So it's like getting sort of clear about what you want to do when you're under the influence, so that someone can be like, hey, you kind of said you didn't want to do that, or are you sure you want to do this? You're coherent enough during your MDMA trip that you can make those decisions, and just need reminders, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think it's important just to really know who you're around, so that you're not taken advantage of, or that you just don't do something that's completely embarrassing to you later.
Yeah, yeah. So be safe, enjoy yourself, start small, try not to take small doses. I probably would recommend, if you're gonna do it, doing it very, like not like every weekend, you know, probably, I don't know, a couple times a year, once a year.
It's up to you.
At Burning Man? I don't know. Anyway, so I think that was the sex talk.
I think that was it. Yeah,
All
that
right.
was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Sex Talk.